final questions for you. These ones are a little bit specific. You created a thumbnail that got 18 million clicks.
Yeah, get that right. Yeah.
Yes, I will never make that mistake again until tomorrow when it's up to 19 million views. But that's what it's, by the time this video comes out, it'll be 25 million views. It'll be something like that. Yeah. So yeah, you created a thumbnail enticing enough to get 18 plus million people to click on it. What is your best thumbnail advice? Because that's the key. If you want your channel to grow, you got to get people to click on a video and then stick around so YouTube keeps recommending it. How do you create those enticing thumbnails?
Yeah, so the way you have to look at it is, well, I look at it anyway, is you need to have a thumbnail catchy enough that people look at it and then read the title of the video to see actually what the video is about. And it needs to be bright, vibrant. Don't use nighttime shots because often they suck. And just, find the image that really stands out in your mind when you're watching something. If you're watching a trailer, what is the thing that I remember from this the most? And try and capture that. And interestingly, the two thumbnails that have blown up for me are very similar. So they have a character in the forefront, a circle behind them over the shoulder, and an arrow going across them pointing to that circle. I don't know if that's the amazing new format I'm going to just keep doing, but that seems to catch people's eyes. And I did have, so Philip Molina from New Rockstars, I've been talking to him for a while. And when I was doing the thumbnails, I was just showing him which one do you think is the best out of these two. He said, this one, maybe make the circle bigger, put some targets in so stuff kind of stands out a bit more. And it's just kind of getting in those processes and also having someone who knows what they're talking about that you can kind of send things to and be like, is this the one I should use or is this the one I should use? So just kind of growing the community, cross-referencing it with people. Even my wife, sometimes I'll have two different thumbnail designs. I'll go, which one?
Yeah, that's
because she's just a common person. So she'll have a better understanding of just a person scrolling through YouTube.
Yeah, that's for me. I'll create 4 different versions of a thumbnail and then I'll show it to my wife. And I'll intentionally hold it across the room because people are looking on their phones. It's this little image. And so which one of these looks better when it's small and it's not right there big in your face?
Yeah.
But that, once again, people think like, yeah, a thumbnail, it doesn't matter all that much. It's just slap a picture up there, a picture of me pointing or something like that. No, like you need to like stop and spend time on it trying to think like, how do I make this enticing?
Yeah, definitely.
And I think one of the ones, especially where you can, if you listen to the comments section and stuff, where you start putting arrows and circles and stuff, you're like, oh, that's just clickbait. You're just trying to. No, is if what I'm teasing in the thumbnail is delivered on in the video. If I'm teasing what's actually in there, that's not clickbait.
Is a very overused term.
Right. It's enticing is not clickbait.
Yeah.
Clickbait is dishonest.
Yeah.
Enticing by being dishonest. And so like I did some breakdowns like the in-game trailer and I had a circle around ScarJo's hair. Mm-hmm. And people are like, oh, you're doing clickbait. You're just putting a circle around her hair. Like, no, my theory is there's a time jump in this movie because her hair looks different at different points in time in the trailer. And so I think something is up with her hair, which is true. That was a thing that happened in the movie. Yeah. And that's where you think, like, you can't just be afraid of doing things with your thumbnail because of the most cynical person in the comment section.
Yeah, definitely. And I have been guilty of that in the past where I've went with a less like clickbaity thumbnail because I knew people would get angry about it and write comments. So I've just kind of went, oh, well, I'll go with the rubbish thumbnail instead.
Yeah.
But yeah, you kind of do need to appeal to people. But a lot of the time you don't know what will. I make thumbnails every day and I've still got no idea whether it's the best one or not.
Right.
So it's just about experimenting with your format and from that building a brand. I'm pretty sure now most people can look at one of my thumbnails and not know that it's me and say this is heavy spoilers because you kind of build a brand around what your thumbnails are. Mm-hmm.
It just like the nature of the circle that you use and the little
the color, the white and yellow text, The logo in the top corner. Yeah, just all little things that kind of make me.
Like 3C, the font that he uses, it's very readable, small, but it has just the simple wiggle to it that makes you. I see it and I go, okay, that's a 3C because it's his font.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And little things like that just immediately build a brand that let people know what they can expect from that video. But I think also, like I said, experimenting, creating multiple different versions and deciding the best one. It's wasted work in a sense because you create 3 things you don't use. But to
sometimes I switch them though. If I'm like, oh well, this thumbnail hasn't worked. Yesterday I changed the Uncharted thumbnail 3 times, and yeah, so it's not always wasted, but yeah, it's very much trial and error.
And I do the exact same thing of like, if it's not getting traction, okay, let me switch it out. Or if I post a video, I'm like really surprised it's not getting work. Maybe I'll create a new one that's a whole new different concept for the thumbnail.
Yeah.
And that's tracking click-through rate on how well it does. Actually, TubeBuddy has a feature if you do their top one where you can A/B test thumbnails.
Oh, really?
I mean, it's the $50 a month one, so it's not cheap. So if you're like really trying to,
I think I've got that as well, and I didn't even know that.
Yeah, there's an A/B testing, and it basically you can do 2-week tests, and every day it switches them, and it tracks through all the analytics and does it. It does this incredible deep dive into it, and so I don't have enough free time every month to do enough tests, but every few months I'll just kind of run all of my videos that are kind of evergreen and do A/B tests and pick the one, and it like lets you know like the percentage wise how much which one is doing better. In 1% improved click-through rate, that is an incredible leap in click-through rate because of the way what click-through rate means. Yeah. And you just start to discover what works in your thumbnails and what works for a specific video. And that's one of the things I've been doing this year, to just trying to slowly increase click-through rate and things like that to get the best possible thumbnails.
I'll have to look through that, because I often design different thumbnails and don't know.